All right, so you're hiring a head of people. It's an excellent choice. I want to help you succeed in this endeavor because hiring the right head of people will transform your business. Hiring the wrong head of people will impede and worse. So let's talk about how to get that right. And this is the first chapter in a series of videos on how to effectively hire your head of people. And this is where we start. So if you're hiring a head of people in this market today, you really have to start off with an understanding of the environment that they've been operating in and the psyche and mindset of experienced people leaders today. Think back in the last 3 years and all we've experienced. And I'm not just talking about the field of HR. I'm talking about society, humanity. We've been through a global pandemic. We've had a range of flashpoints in social justice and racial equity. We've seen toxic political turmoil and an insurrection in the United States. We've seen Russia's war on Ukraine. We've seen the erasure of reproductive rights. We have seen so many significant things that have impacted the world around us, and through that, the world of work as well. And when you think about it, the head of people has actually been on the front lines of this through a couple different angles. And it's important to understand that as you go to market hiring your head of people. Pick any one of these things. You know, your head of people has experienced that as a member of the executive team, helping influence and guide and advise your leadership team on how best to navigate those waters. They've experienced it as a leader within the organization, a leader who many employees look to for answers and guidance in all of these situations. They're going through it as somebody who is leading the people team. You know, the people team, the HR team, they're often on the front lines of all of these things. And so this is somebody who is really being there to rally their team in support of your employees. And they're also experiencing all of these things as an individual who's personally impacted in different ways by the series of events that have unfolded. And so that's kind of the reality of the weight that the field of HR, but more specifically heads of people, have been carrying over the last 3 years. And when you think about going to market to hire a head of people now, it's something you need to take into account. And because of that, you're actually seeing a lot of experienced CPOs and heads of people stepping out of the field altogether. They're moving into coaching. They're moving into consulting. They're moving into advisory work, fractional work. And some are just done and they're stepping out. So it's creating a void of leadership at the top end of the field. But what's also happening is you're seeing more companies investing in a head of people at an earlier stage than historically they had. You know, even companies at the Series A stage are bringing in heads of people because they know that building a foundation built to scale, and that, you know, built to scale piece comes with experience, that will set their organization on the right trajectory and footing for growth and scale. You're also seeing companies that historically had underinvested in HR. Perhaps they viewed the field as more of an administrative function. And again, all of those events over the last couple of years have exposed why HR is a lot more than that. And so those organizations that maybe historically, again, had underinvested, now are bringing in heads of people. They're investing more dollars in HR infrastructure and talent and people. And so that is the reality of the market that you are stepping into. So I think it's really important when you're hiring a head of people to not just understand the, you know, qualification, the skills, the background, the experience you're targeting, but understand the environment and the atmosphere that you're recruiting in. So that's where we are. And in the next video in this series, we're actually going to break down, now that you understand the environment you're recruiting in, let's understand the mindset of heads of people today. What are their values? What are their drivers? What are they looking for? And you need to understand that as you go to market to hire your own head of people. And so we'll be back with more insight on that in our next course around understanding the drivers and mindset of today's heads of people.